Jesus, can we stop making everything scary, Mr. Editor Man? Hello, guys and gals, me, Mutahar, and I have a lot of problems going around, a lot of multiple characters being built. But yes, I was speaking to future Editor Muta, because quite honestly, today, we are potentially looking at the second coming of Jesus Christ. You might be wondering, whoa, what's with the title and everything? Well, I'm gonna just jump right in here, okay? We're gonna snap our fingers. And you're going to look at the snap, the Church of the Shining Sun. Of course, have you ever heard of this 157 koi fish floating around? You don't know what a koi fish is? Well, you haven't been playing enough Yakuza 0. So maybe you should do something like that sometime later. 5 people currently at the altar. Now, this was formed around March 30th, 2020, meaning that, it's a pretty virgin Reddit board, if you will. So, first off, we're going to go look, and we're going to dive right in and go from the very beginning. Now, as you can understand, this whole Reddit board is about theology and prophecy. Apparently since 2012, which is an obvious lie. Other art, the world's best kept secret, and the claim. Introduction. 5,000 years ago, Masonry enslaves mankind. 2,800 years ago, the implant is perfected. Pulls your strings when you touch it. Sneaks itself into your cheek. 2,500 years ago, man-made earthquakes and hurricanes. 448, mankind begins playing God. And that's when the whole world turned into Deus Ex. Now, what is the FAQ about? What about the LGBT? God has told us that he is gay. I don't know. I don't know if you can run that by the Vatican. Let me tell you that I don't think they'd be cool with that. What's a wall? It is an organized secret keeping technique of masonry. It keeps you in charge without anyone knowing who you are and what you're doing. What's a swim? It's when you're pulling strings. What's next? The Great Awakening, Judgment Day, then be freed in the kingdom of heaven. So it obviously leads to a pretty good ending, if you will. Now, let's start off with what this goes into, okay? So the first post on this Discord server 11 months ago, all right, from what I've been gathering, from what I've seen, from how old this board has gotten, is the ichthys, okay? Now, if you don't know what the ichthys is, a quick little Google search over here will tell you the ichthys, or ichthys, from the Greek ichthys, is a symbol consisting of 2 intersecting arcs. You see how it looks like a fish? This symbol was adopted by early Christians as a secret symbol back in the day when it wasn't exactly, part of being the cool kids to be religious, I guess. They had a little bit of a fish symbol. I'm not a Christian expert. I think you can Google that even further yourself. So if you look at the actual first image, they've got what appears to be beautiful looking fish. All right, God bless indeed. Now the next post, all right, if we're going to go in, before we just dive full first, is we're going to look at the pinned posts, okay? So this is a brief overview of my claim as the second coming of Jesus Christ. Science does not know what schizophrenia is. There are plenty of theories, but none are actually accepted. People born blind do not develop schizophrenia. It has never happened. Is it genetic? All the schizophrenics went into the concentration camps during the Holocaust, and after the war, the rate of schizophrenia did not diminish. Now, what causes these voices? How about a cochlear implant? A small neuroprosthetic is inserted into the brain and can stimulate a nerve to hear sound. Could something like this introduce voices into the mind? Well, it does. Could advanced technology stimulate the other senses as well? Is it possible that one day, perhaps in 100 years, humanity will have the technology to read thoughts and dreams, and even make the mind hallucinate? I think that this technology is possible. Could it already exist? I'm going to put a giant disclaimer right over here, okay? This may in fact, it could just be complete medical misinformation. Some ordinary gamers and all of the people associated with it do not have the same beliefs, okay? Just be very thoughtful. Look at approved surveys. Don't look at a Reddit board, all right? God, I know some of you people out there. I have had conversations with thousands of voices since 2012, and little bits started coming together. I was told that sometime over 5,000 years ago, Masonry was discovered. They used small groups with complete silence, truth to your boss, and disobedience to your boss. And had the entire world in 500 years. These small groups grew, and they hit on secret estates all over the earth. Nobody knew they were out there, and where they were, unless you were set free. With massive libraries, they began learning as much as they could at the top of the ancient pyramid. 2,800 years ago, it became magical. With implants that can read and control the thoughts of people and animals while interfacing with supercomputers. You are talking about ancient magic. Nothing that breaks the laws of physics, of course, but incredible technologies. These implants, a very fine wire, can read your thoughts and walk you around by simply holding them with your fingers. This almost feels like reading the background to the Isu people in Assassin's Creed, where they were like the progenitors of humanity, the people that made humans, and they had like these super advanced technologies. This gets just a little bit technical. When I was a child, I lost my rock and said, "I hate you, Lord!" and got scared. At that moment, Soul looked at me and said, "Eric, you are my son now." Someone at God's house heard my prayer and said, in 15 years, that boy will get his every last wish as the king of the world. I had no idea. I was stationed at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. I went to a car dealer and found a Mazda Speed Miata. Mazda Speed Godspeed. I put a license plate on it that said 8th. Oh, man. Oh, man. Please tell me that at chest. I was swarming with demons after getting that plate. In 2007, I got back from Iraq and got my first tattoo, the Deftones White Pony. The tattoo is a miracle performed by Soul. Someone good at God's house then inspired me to move to a neighborhood in Montgomery called Halcyon. This means Kingfisher. I then got another tattoo on my back. In hindsight, it was a demon tattoo. I had a Kingfisher demon on my back. At Halcyon, I was drinking Bloody Marys and V8 like crazy. If you are a schizo and you're drinking V8... What? No... How are those two correlated? Stop. V8s are great. I love them. So anyways, I got out of the Air Force in 2011 and became the king with divine judgment by people playing God. The people judging me did not wake me up and tell me what I had. I started getting paranoid and suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder. In October of 2011, I moved to Marysville, California to stay with my grandmother. And then April 8, 2012, I had a sudden bright thought and said to myself, I am awake. I looked this up online and learned that Buddha has said this. I said to myself, I am a Buddha. The stars aligned over my enlightenment. It was Easter Sunday, Buddha's birthday, and we were celebrating the Maya calendar. Maya is Buddha's mother. My God, my English is terrible tonight. 4 days later, the TV was about me, schizophrenia. Then people started to talk to me through the voices in my head. I had finally woken up to my relationship with the divine. It wasn't long until the master of puppets locked me in the zoo to be tortured and killed. Without having to wait for the Messiah any longer, people were eager to set up the world as they saw fit. We're getting them taken down. 6 weeks after my enlightenment, on Sunday, May 20, 2012, there was a ring of fire eclipse over Northern California. I went to the Marysville Buddhist church that day, and the koi were spawning for the first time in 18 years. I was by the pond. A little red-headed koi fish was conceived. We met several weeks later. I named him Ichthus, which means Jesus fish. The stars aligned over the koi. He was conceived at the Buddhist church under the ring of fire in Marysville. Mary is Christ's mother. The white horse, enlightenment, and koi were miracles performed by Soul, while those at God's house looked on. The white horse is the Hindu Messiah. The enlightenment is the Buddhist Messiah. The koi is the Christian Messiah. Kingfisher, I'm Jesus Fish. What's next? The Great Awakening. Judgment Day. Then be freed in Kingdom. At least that's what's been going on in my head. See here for more. So Redheaded Koi decided to fill in my earlier question about what a V8 and everything does, and they said it looks like blood. If a demon is planning on killing you, you will find yourself drinking V8 leading up to it. Now, to understand right over here, Ichthus, okay, Redheaded Koi, has basically come out and outright just said, listen, okay, he mentioned schizophrenia, all right, they discussed schizophrenia, they talked about it, but they gave their version of the story. Now, I'm one of those people that likes to believe and keep an open mind, and who am I to say that Redheaded Koi is necessarily wrong? If this is the second coming of Jesus Christ, then it may be the second coming of Jesus Christ. Coming out to make that claim, though, may actually put you in the wrong eyes of certain people. Now, of course, they mention things like Judgment Day, which is humanity will be judged and redeemed using our advanced technologies. The artificial intelligence that mankind has can weigh the world's sin in milliseconds and appropriately reward punishment to each individual using the implant. I feel like this person has not played Shin Megami Tensei, but they are very, very quick to have a lore as similar to it. So it's interesting that they've went out and basically outright said that, listen, our AI that we've developed at this point, the massive AI scale, the machine learning algorithms that we have made that exist in all of our technologies, yeah, they absolutely could, I guess, weigh our sin in milliseconds, right? Jesus. After judgment, you'll be cured of everything. Tumors will fade away like magic. Your allergies will vanish. Those who stutter will speak clearly. If you're a smoker, you'll breathe again. Many who are paralyzed will walk. The blind will see. Disease disappears, and we can extend our lives by around 35 years. But much longer lives may be possible, all done with the magical implant. The almighty, holy, you-know-what plug. Then our love sings a eulogy, sung by the sun, sung by you and me. Now, to update here, okay, when we're not covering tragedies and things like that and talking about God's wrath, this is actually a pretty updated board. This is updated as, like, latest as 12 days ago. There are posts literally from a day ago. So even if not a lot of people know this Reddit board, it's definitely active. And this is, again, a sign that it isn't really trolling. This is somebody that I think they actually really believe in what they're preaching, which is something that I can totally respect. The universe is seriously stressed out. Matter sticks together. Matter sticks together. Opposites attract. Opposites attract. Hot go to cold. Hot go to cold. Life is also seriously stressed out. I'm curious what the source of the suffering is. The demon Mara is so awesomely enslaved, before anybody, you know, starts thinking of a dong because they play too much Shin Megami Tensei. This is Mara, okay? All right, I'm just putting it out there for the Persona heads in the audience. Universe blooms as his astonishing cravings exhaust themselves. His damnation fuels the fires of the glorious suns, whose magnificent brilliance is unable to penetrate the clouds of the demon's phenomenal delusion. It is a campfire. The sun god of Koism, Toro, created the universe to birth new souls. After we die, we are judged. Angels are freed into the heavens, while the demons go into the fire to burn forever. So, like, even though this person has, like, a claim of being Jesus Christ or like the holy, like, you know, like if you're burying yourself in Abrahamic religions, they're definitely jumping into the Buddhist side pretty hardcore. Like, they're mentioning tons of deities from completely different sects and branches of what religion is. This one, Ripley Roo here, says, bruh, what the fuck is this? Do people actually believe this psycho? Did you read the first post? Read the first post! This person has schizophrenia. I'm pretty sure this whole sub is about their episodes. Listen, okay? I definitely, if the person has admitted to schizophrenia and are talking about it, I definitely hope they get the attention and help they seek. I don't know from a mental health perspective if this, like, feeds into, say, a delusion, or if it's some form of therapeutic process, but honestly, as long as it's not hurting anybody, I'm totally okay with reading the inner minds of somebody that is going through something that is, in fact, incredibly scary and tough to deal with. Starting a cult is an interesting idea. I'm not sure if that's your endgame. I'd have more respect for you if it were, but I don't think you've gotten that far. You may just be a crazy guy with no coherence. Well, definitely a crazy guy. I don't even think you'd deny it. Nothing wrong with wanting to share my story and looking for some feedback on what I have put together. My doctor also says it's a work of fiction, but even if that's the case, I think the story could be appreciated as a work of art. You know what? I fucking love that. Okay, this person is like, listen, if I'm right, then I'm right. If I'm wrong, at least it's artistic. And that I agree with, okay? If somebody can write this much, God bless, you are one creative fucking... I would love to see a horror movie written by this guy. That would be the greatest. A horror thriller movie written by this mind would be the greatest movie ever fucking created. Just putting it out there. A choir of demons sings to us. Now, GameStop? Can't stop, won't stop. Why would GameStop be suddenly thrown into this? Well, the plot thickens. GameStop was supposed to be the end of the God game. God's wrath was supposed to end. Well, God's wrath definitely came down on the hedge fund managers. That's for goddamn sure. We made a lot of money, and then now we're gonna get fucked. The magnet was awesome. It simply tells everyone to do the Great Awakening. The problem is still the Master of Puppets wanting to keep the world. Yeah, dude, with what Robin Hood did that day, I don't doubt that there's a Master of Puppets behind the scene. That's for fucking sure. God is dead. Long live GameStop. GameStop at the top tells us why the God game is finally done. It is a puppet show to tell the world world, rejoice! No one is pulling the strings. Now, I really have no idea, okay? We have a rocket dollar RKT, okay? So, clearly this person has also come onto Wall Street bets, all right? How is rocket... Ooh, the RKT might look a bit like a flat line, but don't follow my tips or anybody's financial tips. Consider this a financial disclaimer. Only follow somebody that is licensed and trained. The System, Chapter 1. Oh, wow, there's a lot of chapters to this situation. Now, this is what is known as art, okay? And this, I believe, is a simple bit of fan fiction, a story, all right? A 7-chapter story, and I'm just going to read the titles, okay? Follow these 3 simple rules, all right? You're hired. It is perfected. We are ready to play God. God, I pray to be a king. I didn't know that the eclipse would shade the king. I... and the son of the sun. Of course, there's an entire story to understand throughout this entire situation. If you are interested, you need to read it for yourself. This is one that can send a lot of religious people out in a tizzy, okay? God is gay. The claim. When I removed the white pony at the end of 07, my motive was that I thought it was a... Oh no, it was a little unbased having a pony tattoo apparently to this person, because the sun removed it this way. We interpreted it as him coming out of the closet. Everyone cheer for the sun. I think this is a beautiful event for all of us. Any form of inequality creates suffering and hell. With the rainbow flag hanging in heaven, we will see all forms of religious bigotry caved in the past. Additionally, because of this hint, we also assume that the creator is Native American. His name is Toro. I usually refer to him as the sun, but depending on the context, I may call him God. You know what? I agree with Red-Headed Koi, okay? I almost thought this guy was going to go in a homophobic direction, like he had me in a first half, but this is actually such a beautiful thing, okay? Any form of inequality creates suffering and hell. Everyone cheer. You know what? You know what, man? I'm always okay with the homies sipping the dong. I'm always okay with people playing for the same team or vice versa. If you're not hurting anybody, live your life the way you want to live it. You know, honestly, if this was a cult, I agree with everything this person is saying. God bless. This is great. We will see all forms of bigotry caged in the past. I love this person, dude. He almost got me screwed over on the first half for a second, but he made it up in the second, that's for sure. So this is like a map. The foundation of my claim is the Messiah, cornerstone. So this is God and the Son of God. And you've got a little flow chart going to when and where, Mary and Maya. So you got Buddha and Christ. Now, Christ is represented by this cool little fish, which we know as the ichthys. And then you've got Buddha, who is, I am awake. Now, you got Buddha's birthday, which is fucking Easter. You've got the Ring of Fire, which is the Buddhist church, okay, and apparently they're supposed to align on days. Look, this is getting there. Buddha isn't the Son of God. Son of God, Son of the Sun, Son of Heavens are titles for monarchs. As Kalki, the king, Christ the king, I am the king as Buddha. When God makes man a Buddha, then he can be called the Son of God. Okay. Well, we've learned it. We're combining Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity all into one hodgepodge. This is wild. He is coming soon. Decided to make a post on this sub because I felt I wouldn't be called a schizo. So here we go. And of course, this is by a deleted account too, so I don't really know what happened. I think Jesus is coming in the year 2028, 2,000 years after his death. But what about to saying, no man shall know the day or the hour? It was a common Jewish idiom referring to the Feast of Trumpets, since the feast could not be determined until 2 witnesses confirmed the sighting of the new moon silver, which could happen any hour or day. Also, I'm not a prophet. I suggest you watch the channel called 20... Ooh, these are those conspiracy theory channels that are like, did you guys know that the Earth is supposedly flat? Spoiler alert, it is not. Now, you may be wondering, oh boy, Muto, what have we come across today? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we've come across an active board, which is all running from one individual who believes, I would say, from what I've read, that they are, in fact, the Son of God. You know, they are the reincarnation of Buddha. They have been coming back as Jesus Christ. This is definitely a Reddit board that is quite unorthodox. You know, a lot of the things mentioned today are, in fact, very religiously unorthodox, all right? In fact, unorthodox might be the word of the day, if you will. So, I gotta say, for one, all right, I've come across schizophrenia on this channel before. We've looked at actual subjects with schizophrenia. In fact, a lot of them self-admitted. If you remember back to certain deep web browsings, we literally came across a Templar Knight who claim to be schizophrenic. So you get into the situation where, like, you know, these people, they actually know that they have, you know, this diagnosis, and they freely admit it, and they give their perspective of the story. And whether I disagree with it, which in this case I 100% do, it's always interesting to understand and realize what it's like to live in this situation and sort of to get a glimpse of what they're going through and sort of seeing their story. I feel like they just perceive the world entirely differently, and nothing is more evident than the Reddit pages that we have left. So I'm going to leave you with the question: do you, audience, believe that there is a sliver of hope that this Redditor is in fact Jesus Christ? Let me know in the comment section below. This is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I'm gonna go play Deus Ex.